Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Rebel Racing Network. Excuse me. Welcome to the Rebel Arca series at Iowa Speedway for the round one cutoff race. We're going to send four drivers not to the next round. We're going to send 8 to the next round, and 4 are going to be just racing for wins after tonight. So going to be a tough battle tonight. Iowa going to be very, very tough, but we're going to have a lot of fun. I can imagine as we are already getting gridded up. Everybody's on pit road, getting their cars ready, getting the belts tight, and getting ready to go green flag racing. On the front row, the Peg Leg Pole Award winner is Jason Warren with a 24.233 outside the front row, Garrett Kinder. Starting third, Jonathan Cofield. Starting fourth, Kent Hunley. Starting fifth, Brandon Pollock. Starting sixth, Kai Shepard. Seventh, William Griffith. Starting eighth, Tyler Rice. Starting ninth, Michael Kostick. Starting 10th, Jason Lottridge. Starting 11th, Michael Nash. Starting 12th, Thomas Sly. Starting 13th, Aaron Adcock. Starting 14th, Steve McDonald. Starting 15th, Ray Page. Starting 16th, Josh Oswald. Starting 17th, Greg Froning. Starting 18th, Brandon Wallace. Starting 19th is Alan Renecki. Starting 20th, Chris Reese. Starting 21st, Chuck Phelps. Starting 22nd, Charles Stevens Jr. And 23rd is Matt Clement. Pace car getting ready to pull off and get this field under green flag racing. Let's go ahead and look at the point standings here. As we check them out, you'll see there, number 8, Michael Kostick, that is your cutoff. And we will see how it plays out towards the end of this race. You can look at the points all the way up to about Tyler Rice. There's a little separation between Oswald and Rice, but if you look, Tyler Rice, 1069, and then all the way down to 12th place, or about 8th place is 1059. So 10 points separate 4th through 8th. So going to be a tough night. You want to make sure you don't get in trouble if you're one of those locked in. And if you're Stephen McDonald, Brandon Wallace, Greg Froning, William Griffith, you're looking to try to make something happen here. William Griffith kind of in a must-win situation, and anything can happen here at a short track, especially one like Iowa. Really fast, really, really hard on the tires, but these cars got a little power on their right pedal. Loud pedal works real good here. So we're going to expect to see some of these short track guys like Jason Warren, Ken Hunley. These guys will really show out. Maybe see a little top line action, see some of that middle lane work. You're going to see guys moving all over the track trying to find the grip, and depending on how the setup's running, we could see them all over the track. Going to see some passes made on the outside. Going to be tough to come off the corner, off the bottom. So, but 125 laps. Going to be a lot of fun. I've said that quite a few times, but I mean it. Pace car pulls off. Geico restart zone for Jason Warren. And green flag is out here in Iowa. Go down into turn 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. They are sideways. Jason Warren getting real loose off the corner. You like to see that. That's what you want to see. Garrett Kinder with the advantage as they go down into turn 1. Kinder sliding the thing. You see the back end of both cars really yawing out off into the corner. Jason Warren gets loose again, and that gives 13 what he needs. Going to be a little bit loose as guys are letting the tires get up to temps, get the pressures built up in them, and let that grip, that maximum grip patch take over. But right now, Garrett Kinder, your Apex Series champion last night, starting off really, really good here. Jason Warren struggling with those bumps. You can see the bumps in 1 and 2. You'll see those make a big difference, especially guys trying to make passes. You got to be careful. Those things will really upset your car. You see the car just violently up and down through across that bump. What you really, really want to do is these drivers are going to be trying the best they can to drive down in 1 and 2. Stay off the throttle. Oh, his Cofield's going to get into the wall a little bit. But you're going to want to drive down in the corner. Wait on the throttle. Wait on this bump right here. Boom, and then get back on the gas as soon as possible. You get on the gas too soon, and it can throw you around. So, going to take a lot of TLC, a little tender love and care to get around this track tonight. You can see Cofield, man, man, these guys are having to drive these cars. I love to see it. Back here, William Griffith up a couple spots from where he started. He ain't playing around. He's going. Ken Huntley dropping back just a little bit. As you can definitely tell, the guys who are saving a little bit and some that are getting rowdy and getting with it. The 12 car way up the dang track. I don't know what he's trying to do. He's trying to make a new lane up there. He does get a nice run off the corner. So talked about that high line already. And William Griffith trying to make it work. Now we'll see how it does in 30 laps when the tires get the heat in them. But that dude is driving that thing. Let's go on board with it. Hell, I want to see it. Man, look at him. He's making up time, too. He is the fastest car on the track running that high line. You see that bump there on the ups, the top side, very, very tough. Gonna slow him down just a little bit, but he's making that top side work. Just able to get on the gas sooner and carry the speed down the straightaway. Look how much speed he's going to gain. Look at that Pennzoil get a lot bigger in the screen as he tries to run down Brandon Pollock. Look how violent it is up there. My goodness. Go back here. Check out some drivers racing. Got Michael Nash here in the 27. Ray Page right in front of him. And Thomas Sly trying to chase him down. Josh Oswald started in 16th. A little surprised. Expect to see. I mean, this is technically not a short track. I like to think of it that way. It feels like a short track, but it's not necessarily a normal Saturday night type short track. Got a lot of banking, carry a lot of speed, but I expect to see that 17 move up through the field, be up towards the front by the end of this thing. But right now he is stuck back here. These guys trying to move forward. I think what we'll see tonight is how difficult it's going to be to pass. It's going to be very, very difficult to get up under somebody. Especially with the outside being as strong as it is. Got side-by-side racing. Michael Costa going to try to make that pass now. It's always better make the pass now than it is later. That car really binds up on the old tires. Be even more difficult to get up off the corner. You see the 43 with just a huge run, half a car length as they enter into turn 1. So gonna have to move around, find some speed. Kevin Kinder, how you doing? They are driving on all 4 corners. That's right. Go back up front. Cofield still right there on the back bumper of the 45. You see Griff way up there still running the high line, but he is falling back. The danger of the high line is it will wear the tires out. You see he was definitely putting a lot of pressure on that right rear tire. It's going to be really difficult for him to get grip off the corner, and that's where everybody's fighting for now, trying to get the best run off the corner that they can get. Love these Arca cars. Love to see the movement too. Love it as they go down in the corner, see the bouncing that they do. If we can get a doesn't do it justice, I'll tell you. 45 looking to the inside, trying to make something happen. And as he does that, he opens up the inside for Cofield here. Man, we got a three-way battle for the lead as the 45 going to push up really tight off the corner. And that's going to open the door for the 58. 58 is going to drive down the corner, hope to slide up in front of him. And he does. Here comes the 45, trying for the, maybe try to do a crossover. He's going to get the run. Is he going to go back at him, or is he going to sit there and ride? 58 is going to defend the inside, going into the corner, and move Cofield up to the second spot. Cofield, of course, your points leader, been extremely dominant all season long. He's got quite a few wins on the season 3, the most out of anybody. Jason Warren behind him is the only one with multiple wins. So him, Jonathan Cofield, Jason Warren, both multiple winners this season. So no surprise to see them up front. Right behind them, though, Brandon Pollock, man, he is looking strong. Has got about a 1.6 seconds over fifth place Kent Hunley. Doing a good job. These guys starting to pull away a little bit, but he is staying with them. Has got a battle for the lead, looks like. 58 tried to get down through the inside of the bottom side of 3 and 4, but the run off the top side just too strong right now. It's a great battle. I know there's battles happening in other parts of the track, and we'll get with you in just a second, but don't want to miss a battle for the lead. As it looks like Garrett Kinder's starting to fall off just a little bit compared to these guys. We'll see if the 58 can make a pass here. It's just going to be so difficult to make that move. You see Garrett sort of running that middle lane, and you'll see the seams on the track. We'll go on board with Garrett Kinder, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. But you'll see he's right there at the bottom in 3 and 4. You see how much steering he's having to put as that car wants to turn around on him. Now, 1 and 2, you're going to see him put those right sides. You see the black seams right there on the track where those dotted lines. He's trying to put that left front down below that seam in the right rear above it. Helps that car turn, keep the momentum, doesn't get tight up off the corner. If you try to go all the way down to the bottom, it's going to get really, really tight in 1 and 2. And if you go up too high, it might get a little bit too loose on you. So he's doing a good job driving the line almost perfectly. You see consistently getting that left front. Oh, we missed it there. And you see just how much more difficult it was to get to the center of the corner. 58 now looking to the inside. It's just going to be so tough to make this pass. I mean, we see it in real life. Guys fighting up on the high side makes it really difficult for the guy on the inside. Just not able to use the whole track. 58 can run down at the bottom, but he really needs to be able to use the whole track to get up there. And you see Jason Warren in that 45 getting real loose off the corner. And you got 3 options when you're in this situation. You can either be patient, wait for the 13 to make a mistake, try to get to his outside somehow, so you can get the run, get position. Or you can give him a little bump. Bump him out of that groove, drive on by and hope they don't get back to you. Those are all 3 good options. You see almost a car length as they enter in turn 1. The 13 was able to pull by, just get the run off of 3 and 4 on that middle line. So Kinder doing a good job defending. 58 not really able to do anything with him. Well, let's go back here through the field. Got 23, 43, and the 12 battling it out. William Griffin saw him running that Larson line early in the race. but it started to fall back after making up a couple spots. That high line just does those tires dirty. I think if you watch it though, might be something to put in the memory bank for later. As we see the 23 going to get a huge run here, going to go down to the inside, and Aaron Adcock fighting to try to take over that 8th position. Not able to do it though off the high side, or off the bottom. You see he's right there on the back of the 12. Woo-wee! Boy, you love to see it. Ratchet Miller says congrats on the W. Kevin Kinder says nice win. I sure do appreciate it, fellas. Right now, man, it's a cluster, you know what, of cars. As William Griffith being very difficult to pass. 23 is trying all that he can do to get that thing around that 12 machine. I think he's going to be able to get at least a position here to clear up in front of him. 12 is going to have a run, but 23 is going to have the position. He is up to 8th place. That's 5 spots already for the 23 machine. Seems like every week Aaron Adcock driving through the field, if he ever gets that qualifying down, spend a little bit of time on that qualifying program and start up near the front, I think he'd be dangerous. We already saw him get up there and dominate at Dover. Just a heck of a win. Ken Hunley, after saving those tires, been taking it easy riding. Ken Hunley starting to make up some ground here in that 02 machine on the outside of Brandon Pollock. Going to easily take over that spot. And as we look at the times, he is running times very, very similar to the 13 of Garrett Kinder. Speaking of, Jonathan Cofield still trying to make this pass work. Just see how little throttle he can pick up off the corner as he's fighting that steering wheel, chasing the car up the track. But you gotta love this if you're a racer. I mean, if it's easy, it ain't fun. You want a challenge. You want to get up there and try to figure out how am I gonna get around this guy. That's part of racing to me. That's the fun part about it. And so be able to race like this with your buddies and guys that are as fast as Jason Warren, Garrett Kinder, get up here and race. Look how much he's having to use the wheel over those bumps. He's trying to be aggressive. Tires are just starting to wear out enough that he cannot get the power down like he wants to. Michael Kostick driving to the outside, the right rear quarter of the 1. Oh, and the 1 gets a little bit loose. Trying to give the 3s a little bit of space. Brandon Pollock just trying to hold on till he can get down pit road. So far, all green flag action here as we are on lap 38 of 125, so we're going to click them off quick. William Griffith still falling back as Alan Renecki drives by him for 13th place. You know, talking about that high line, it is definitely fast and it's a lot of fun, but man, you can just see what it does to the tires. You can run that middle. You can kind of flirt with that middle lane, but man, that top line like that really, really hurts the tires. Specifically that right rear just does not want to turn now, and you can't really get on the throttle. It just wants to get loose off the corner. So he is definitely struggling as Chris Reese in the 62 machine has now caught up to him. Oh, he's going to get into the wall. Griff in trouble here as he's headed towards the back. Kevin Kenner says, I don't remember cars kicking out this much. Is it the track? It's both. The cars, these cars have enough power they can really turn the car on throttle. And this particular track is very, very fast. It runs off the right rear. And so you're really using the throttle to make that thing turn off the corner. And you're really having to fight it. That's why I love these cars, man. They're just too much fun. Back up front. Still the 13 and 58. 58 doing everything he can, but it's just so difficult. Of course, like I always say, you can't get frustrated. You get frustrated, you start driving too hard, you start pushing the throttle down too much. If you're the 58, you're right there on the back bumper of the leader. You know you got to make a pit stop. You got at least one. So be there. If he makes a mistake, you drive on by. If not, try to make up the difference on pit road. The last thing Jonathan Cofield wants to do, fighting for the championship, is to drive this thing in too hard, get it out of shape, and end up running in 23rd. That'd be bad. He's definitely trying. He is giving her all she's got. Try to find any way to get any kind of drive off, but that bottom side just not going to be there. Garrett Kenner doing a great job of not letting that phase him at all, just running his line. Making it difficult. Right here is where Cofield needs to go all the way out to the wall to get as much speed as he can, but the 13 is there, and so he has to account for that, and that scrubs speed off, where the 13 is able to stay in the throttle, get in it sooner, and has a better run off from the top side. Nice little drive right here. Didn't look like the 13 got a great center of the corner, but I just don't see the 58 being able to do anything with the 13 unless the 13 makes a mistake. Just see the run. There's no surprise at this point. The run off of 4 is too strong off the top side. Cofield, though, he is dedicated to that bottom line. Definitely seems to be pretty good in 1 and 2, but right here is where it seems to suffer a little bit. I'm surprised he hasn't moved up a little bit and try to run that 13's line in 3 and 4 and use more of that run down the straightaway. He's definitely better in 1 and 2. Run higher right behind the 13 and 3 and 4. Get the run down the front straightaway and have a head of steam going into turn 1 and 2 where you're a little bit better than him. So this time by he does run about a lane up higher, but cuts down off the corner, and that's going to give a 13 a little bit of an advantage. Probably my favorite thing to do in racing when it's like this where it's so difficult to pass is I love, not that, you don't expect anybody to move over for you, but the 13 definitely making it difficult for the 58. Oh, is 58 going to get real bad loose there as he thought he had a home run, gave it a little bit too much gas, but good save there. Well, 13, obviously not laying over. He's fighting hard from that position. So what I like to do is get up right to the back bumper and just follow him. Just follow him make them nervous, make them look, make them worry about getting on the brakes, make them miss the braking zone a little bit. I like playing games back and forth, seeing who can hold out the longest. Right now, though, Garrett Kinder putting on a clinic on how to run your own race and defend the lead. And you see the 58 trying to work that bottom line. He gets a little bit loose off the corner every time. Where the 13, you definitely can see he looks pretty snug as the car seems to rotate just right, especially off 3 and 4 as it comes off the corner. And Cofield not giving up, though. Gets a nice little run here. So close to having that 58 machine alongside of the 13. Got some guys that made some pit stops here. William Griffith comes down on lap 46 to take his first stop. And boy, he's going to be driving around these guys. Oh, and he's going to get in the wall. That's actually bad for Kinder. He's not able to use the whole track there off of 2. And Kinder does a good job of letting the 12 by and get back into where he needs to run. And Griff is moving. He's trying to make up some time on those brand new set of tires. Let's see how many tire sets we have. I would imagine there's only 3. But we'll check. Yeah, 3. So you got 1 set that you start on and 2 extras in the pits. So as we get close to halfway, definitely going to have to pit at some point. Expect to see drivers start to hit pit road between now and 65. As sure enough, Jason Warren brings the 45 machine down pit road. Going to come on, make his pit stop. Try a little undercut here. Let's see what Garrett Kinder and Jonathan Cofield do. As they are running about a second half off the pace. Come off 3 and 4. Neither one of these guys committing to pit road. Of course, Jason Warren going to go a lap down at least, maybe 2, depending on how quickly he can get on and off pit road. So it's a scary thing to pit a little bit early. So far in most races at Iowa, surprisingly enough, sort of trend green flag racing, so you don't see too many cautions. And so far, none here tonight. So I think it's a good call for Jason Warren to come down pit road, make up some time on the track, but it is a nerve-wracking thing, especially pitting this early. I think guys can go pretty far, probably 75, 80 laps if I had to guess. So it's a gamble if the caution comes out. Especially if the caution comes out in the next 10, 15 laps. That makes it even worse, because then you have to make the decision to stay out on old tires or not. Man, I'm sorry everybody else that's going back and watching this, but this battle for the lead is just... Oh, 13 going to get a little bit loose, tags that wall a little bit, but still has the momentum down the straightaway. As they're starting to run up on some lap traffic. Chuck Pegleg Phelps and 13 really high there. That's going to open the door for the 58. He's got that front bumper there. 13 going to drive down to the corner. 13 been strong this whole run. Can he continue that as they go down the straightaway? What is the 58 able to do? Not able to do it, man. That run off the top, just too strong. And Garrett Kinder putting on a clinic on how to defend. If these guys will take a break, I can move around, check some stuff out. But, man, it is going crazy right now. Tyler Rice comes down pit road. While this is going on, Kent Huntley, Michael Kostick slowly creeping back up in the picture. They're About a tenth and a half faster than the front two, so the tire saving kings right here, making up a little bit of time. Of course, up front they're sort of racing a little bit, being defensive, but definitely a little bit faster. Last lap, Garrett Kinder ran a 26-second lap. Jason Warren 24.6, so he is making up a ton of time on those fresh tires. As he's got a lot of traffic to drive through here. He is running really fast. Greg Froelich right in front of him. Try to get up to the outside of that 71 machine. Maybe take it 3 wide. What do you say? What do you say? 3 wide off of turn 4. 45 trying to get that machine. Get as much use out of those tires as he can. Make up as much time. Come out with that lead. If everything cycles around, I would imagine he would cycle around to the lead. And here we go. 13 coming down pit road. Oh, boy. That's how you get down on pit road. He got every bit of that one. As 13 going to give up the lead. Come down pit road, Aaron Adcock. You see Brandon Pollock coming down as well to go ahead and get those 4 tires. Jonathan Cofield going to stay out on track. Expect to see him come down pretty quickly, as the 13 is going to have a big advantage here. And here comes Jonathan Cofield. A little bit better entry, a little bit easier entry than Kinder had, as Kinder was being very aggressive. Hopefully Kinder made the commitment cone. That's one thing that is a little bit difficult. You see that white line up at the very top of your screen. You got to make that, well, I don't have a good view of it, but you got to make that commitment cone. So if you don't, that's a commitment cone violation, and you will have a time penalty. So we'll see. Hopefully that doesn't happen to anybody. Right now, Jason Warren 7 seconds ahead of Garrett Kinder. So those fresh tires making a big difference. Now, Jason Warren pitted on lap 56, so Garrett Kinder going to have about 10 lap fresher tires. That may end up equaling out over time, but right now, Jason Warren got to be feeling good about that strategy. You just need to take care of your stuff, and it stays green the rest of the way. It's all on Garrett Kinder to make something happen. Jonathan Cofield did not have a good pit stop. He is he's some 3 seconds behind Garrett Kinder. But right now, Jason Lottridge in that City Chevrolet is currently out front. Oh, that 48 machine getting real tight. Had to lift. Woo, you saw how that was. Very, very tight as he is really stretching the limit to that right front. A very scary moment there for Jason Lottridge, as I'm sure he's ready to come down pit road. The way he's driving, I don't know, does he have a tire down? He may have blown a right front. Or just taking it easy getting on the pit road. I don't know, either one. Probably a good idea either way. He is coming in hot, though. Woo! So Jason Lottridge gives up the lead. That gives it to the 99. Brandon Wallace, he's going to stretch it every single race. He's going to stretch it all the way to the end. You can almost always guarantee that Brandon Wallace going to run that tank dry. He is not going to leave any fuel out on the track. So on lap 71, here he comes. Gives up the lead. And that turns it back over to Jason Warren, who that 6-second lead over Garrett Kinder has now turned into a 4.2 second lead. So Garrett Kinder is scooting, as Jason Warren had definitely put a lot of wear on those tires. He's really trying to move up through the field, make some passes, and get that advantage. Now Garrett Kinder, he is lapping, oh man, probably 0.6 of a second faster than Jason Warren. We'll actually look at it right here. And you see the difference. Garrett Kinder is coming. So if you're Jason Warren, try to take care of those tires. But you really, I mean, it's a tough situation. You don't want to take it too easy, but you don't want to drive too hard. You just want to let what's going to happen, which is he's going to run you down. But we saw how difficult it was for Jonathan Cofield to make his way around the 13. So if I'm the 45, I'm taking it easy, taking care of my tires, making sure they're as cool as possible. And when that 13 gets to me, he better pack a lunch. It's going to be difficult to pass. Chuck Pegler-Phelps brings that 75 machine down pit road, get his 4 tires and fuel on lap 74. So we should be able to make it the rest of the way. I can almost guarantee that there is no need for another pit stop. You see, that advantage falling off just ever so slightly, 6 tenths, 4 tenths, 3 tenths, 2.5 tenths. So, as Garrett Kinder, obviously he's driving his guts out to run down Jason Warren, and he's got Cofield right behind him too, just a few seconds back. So, these guys trying to manage this race the best they can. Of course, a caution would change everything, but right now it doesn't look like this. Doesn't seem to be too much issue. Guys racing side by side. Lots of grip out there on the track. A couple laps ago, Garrett Kinder, 4.5 tenths he made up there. 3.5 last lap. We'll see as they cross the line. Man, Garrett Kinder is moving. As we look out the front windshield of the 13 machine, you can see that 45 right up there, right in front of him. As Garrett Kinder see that advantage of the tires start to fade a little bit. Time by Garrett Kinder about 1 tenth faster, so they're starting to plateau a little bit, starting to even out. The good is worn off of it. Garrett Kinder having to let Aaron Adcock by, who seems to be a little bit fresher tires. I don't know what happened to Aaron. He spent about 40. Oh, he had a speeding penalty for the 23, as he spent about 55 seconds on pit road, which usually amounts to a 40 seconds hold for speed. So probably got in there a little bit too hot. Garrett Kinder in a hornet's nest of guys with fresher tires who pitted a little bit after him. Kinder pitted on 65, and you got some guys who pitted a little bit later, racing hard to get back on the lead lap. They want to get up there and pass that 45 machine before caution comes out. So Garrett Kinder having to navigate, letting guys by, when to push. Don't want to race somebody, but don't let somebody by that you might have to pass back later. It's a tough situation. Got a battle for position here. Michael Nash, Kai Shepard. Couple good little throwback battle here is Michael Nash in that Valvoline, which we saw on track last week at Vegas. Pretty cool to see that Taurus with the man himself, Mark Martin. It's so funny, growing up, I just didn't like Mark Martin. My dad was an Earnhardt fan. I was a Gordon fan. So back in the day, you couldn't like other manufacturers. You had to hate whoever was in the Ford if you're a Chevy guy. If you're a Ford guy, you had to hate the Chevy guys, just the way that it was. God bless. And but as time passes, you kind of look back and you appreciate guys like Mark Martin, who definitely were a good steward of the sport. And Michael Nash, nice little homage here to that car. I got to see it out on the track again, which is pretty cool. regardless, the Taurus is an ugly car, man, I tell you. Whew. And it definitely looks ugly on a Chevrolet body like this one right here. But paint scheme, though, looks pretty good. Like the old Valvoline schemes. Hard to beat. Hard to make that look bad. All right, let's go back up here. Getting lost in nostalgia, and we're going to miss the battle here. Tough situation. You got cars. You see the pink cars, that's your top three. You got the 45 here, 13, and then as the top of your screen right there, you see Cofield in that 53 machine trying to work his way through some lap traffic and get to these guys. And you can see Aaron Adcock putting the pressure on the leader. Oh, and the 45 going up to block the lane to 23, and when he does that, it's going to open the door for the 13 machine, who just takes the lead there. Don't know if there was some miscommunication on what was going to happen, but because of that, the 13 able to drive right by the 45. That is not what the 45 wanted to see. Would he have been able to hold off the 13? I don't know, but that's not how he wanted it to happen, that's for sure. But just to be clear, I mean, these lap cars racing their own race. They deserve to be on track, and they deserve to race and get back on the lead lap, whatever they need to do to make their race happen. So Aaron Adcock doing what he needs to do to try to make up for a bad situation. A few laps down, most likely having to sit on pit road for all of 55 seconds, a whole minute. We're running 25-second laps. You do the math, I can't do it. But that'll put you down pretty far. As he is one lap down and has just made up a lap. He's got to be careful, though. He's about to go another lap down as 13 got loose from the 45. And, man, he is getting to the back bump of the 23. Now Cofield goes to the inside of who I believe is Chris Reese. Can't really see. There's a number on that car, but I believe that's Chris Reese. Chris, he is a lap down, so he's trying to get himself back on the lead lap. And 58 clears the 62 and sets his sights on the 45. Who, like we already talked about, the 45 pitted about 10 laps earlier than these guys, so trying to make it up on the track, pitting a little bit early, and we're seeing the tire difference between these two right here. I don't think the 45 may be able to do anything with it. He's going to try his hardest. He's going to try the crossover here, but just doesn't have the tire to do that. And so Jonathan Cofield takes over the second place without much trouble. But the good strategy call by Jason Warren, I think that was a good call. Try to get out there to the lead. Tires, though, just starting to fall off pretty bad. Kevin Gator says the 45 got into the wall. Look here on the right side. I don't know. I don't really see any damage, but I don't know. It just definitely seems like the tires on that 45 machine really dropping off a cliff right here. They've definitely plateaued and just started to fall quickly. And he is about 2.5 tenths actually slower than fourth place Michael Kossick. So he's in danger of losing a few more spots as Kent Hundley, Michael Kossick running nose to tail. This is for fourth place. We saw him flip-flop before pit stops, and Kossick pitted a couple laps earlier than Kent. Was able to undercut him a little bit. Now Kent trying to make his way back around that 3 machine, both these playoff drivers. Michael Kossick trying to do the best he can. I mean, he just really needs to finish higher than 8th place, as he is currently the cutoff driver. Need to make sure he hasn't won. No, he hasn't. Of course, Aaron Adcock locked into the next round, and so is Jason Warren, as they were both winners, I believe. So, oh, that changed. I just don't know. I mean, I know Aaron won. I don't want to get too in the mud here, but I don't know if Aaron has run enough races. He's definitely not in the playoffs, so that was a non-playoff driver. All right, so anyway, I'm falling apart here as we need to be watching the race. but anyway, trying to see who is locked into the playoffs, and so far after Jason Warren won last week, that moves him on to the next round for sure. So Michael Kosick doing what he needs to do. Like I said, I think if he finishes just above 7th place, that's going to be enough. I don't think anybody's going to gain any points on him. So Kosick just needs to take care of himself here, as Kent Hundley not in the playoffs. But man, this is a gaggle of cars. As Huntley goes down to the inside, going to try to use the 19 as a pick. The 3 might be doing the same thing. Boy, this is going to get tight right here. I don't know what's going to happen. The 3 was going to go to the outside of the 19. 19 moves up. My goodness, this is crazy right here. Michael Kosick doing a good job, though, of fighting it out. These guys just don't have anywhere to go. It's just the lanes are clogged up here. As now Clement going to the inside of Jason Lottridge in the 48. And these guys battling for position. There's nothing they can do. So the 3 and the 02 just have to be patient. And man, they were catching those guys. So this is a tough deal. This is really slowing them up, but they were definitely catching Jason Warren a little bit. But Ken Huntley going to get behind the 3. Oh, Jason Lottridge gets a little bit loose off the corner. It sure is awesome to watch these drivers navigate this. Like experts. Well, Ken Huntley going to get a run here. Going to look to the outside of the 3. The 3 was trying to get down to the inside of the 68. The 68 going to back out of it. Sort of setting a pick for the 02. 02 going to drive down right behind the 3. Boy, these guys are racing their guts out. Let's see what the 02 does here. The 3 gets a little bit loose off the corner. But so far, so good. Oh, pucker moment is the 02. Almost slides up into the 68. Good grief. This is awesome. Whew. I love to see this kind of stuff. It's a lot of fun to watch these guys. Lap cars driving their guts out too. Doing a great job. And these guys just navigating their way through the traffic. Kosick doing a masterful job of keeping Kent Hundley behind him, but also getting through this lap traffic. Let's go up front. 58. Looks like the 13 was able to get back around the 23 of Aaron Adcock, putting him 2 laps down now. Oh, the 58 gets really loose there as the 23 seems to back out of it just a little bit. And Josh Oswald now, he is in the lucky dog position. Maybe trying to unlap himself. But now the 58 looking ahead, going to try to run down that 13. And oh boy, he's got that gum. The worst kind of deja vu is he's got 19 laps to go. If he catches the 13, he already knows how difficult it was to pass. And so he's probably thinking, I may make up this time, but I don't know where am I going to get around him. at the line. Jonathan Cofield about a half a tenth faster. If he keeps that up, he'll catch him with about 1 lap to go, so he's got to pick up the pace. Looks really, really fast through 3 and 4. See the lap times this time by. About a tenth faster that time, about a little bit more than half a tenth. But he is definitely catching him. He's going to need every bit of this time. He's got to catch him faster, though. He can't catch him with 2 laps to go because he'll have to. It's going to take a few laps to get around that 13, even if you're able to do it. You see the 58 really hanging it out off the corner. That time by Garrett Kendrick just a little bit faster. We'll go back to the battle for 3rd place, starting to heat up as Caustic and Hundley has run down Jason Warren, last week's winner. He is locked in the playoffs, so he don't care. He wants to get up there and win. If not, he's good, so it don't even matter to him. But I bet you he's going to race his guts out. He tried that strategy of pitting early. I think it was a good call. Was able to make up that time, but as this run has kind of gone long, expecting to see maybe a couple of cautions. We're 3 wide here. Oh my goodness! And oh, Caustic gets loose. Hundley, Caustic get together as they were 3 wide for a second. As William Griffith all new tires as he is doing a 2-stop strategy. It looks like kind of surprised these guys, I think. What a great job by those two to keep it together. I just don't think either one of them realized what was going to happen there, and that they were going to be 3 wide so quickly, but the 3 going to get to the back bumper of the 45. Three running a sort of a higher line, trying the best he can. Oh my goodness, they get loose off the corners. Caustic does not want to let the 0-2 by. Boy, these guys are racing. I love to see this. 45, definitely tell the tires are just not where it needs to be. What's Hundley going to do, though? He's got to run off the top side. Is he going to drop it down 3 wide? I would. Dadgummit. Well, he didn't do it. I wanted to see that. A 3. Looks like he's going to be able to take that spot here in the next corner or so. The 45 really struggling. That right front's got to be on fire at this point with 11 laps to go. Going to fight here. The 45 going to try to get back up to the outside, but the 3 going to have it. 45 going to look down to the inside. He ain't giving up. If I'm Caustic, man, I got to tell you, and I'm not. And he able to get that pass. Caustic has put himself in some scary positions there for somebody who's right on the cutoff line. One wrong move, and it's all over for that 3 machine. He may not make it into the playoffs. Right now he's good, but, man, a couple times there he was in trouble. But, man, he's got that racer mentality. He can't help it. Both those drivers able to get around Jason Warren, and he is falling back pretty quickly. Alan Renecki, the next one in line, up to 6th place. Starting at the back really didn't help him with it being a green flag race. He just hasn't been able to make up enough time. He made his way from 19th all the way to 6th, but needs a caution if he's going to get back in this thing. Let's go up front, though. Where is Cofield at? He has gotten pretty close with 8 laps to go, just sort of running out of steam here in that 58 machine. Like I said, he's slowly about half a tenth a lap. We can actually look at it. I don't have to make up something. We'll see exactly what it was. You see they're kind of trading blows here. Kinder will be just a tad bit faster, then Cofield will pick it back up. 58 trying all that he can. But like I said, even if he gets there, the catching him, that's the easy part. They cross the line. Eric Kinder half a tenth faster than Cofield. Cofield's tires, they woe out. Six laps to go in this one. This is the cutoff race. to set the field for the round of 8. See who moves on in this thing and gets to the next round. We know Jason Warren, he is locked in. And wow, they ran the exact same lap time last lap by. Garrett Kinder not in the playoffs. Jonathan Cofield is. Cofield solidly in the top 8. So he definitely doesn't want to make a huge mistake. Second place is as good as a win for him. He'll move on to the next round with that second place finish. Go check this battle out. And this is all for position here. Good grief, except for Warnecki. We got Ray Page, Matt Clemens, Steve McDonald, Jason Lottridge all battling. This is for the 13th position. Al Renecki in that green car at the back. Ooh, somebody gets loose, Matt Clemens. Ooh, Clemens gets a little bit loose again. Really fighting that right rear. Two laps to go here. Up front, though, the 58 has gotten to the back bumper as we come to take the white flag. White flag is out. There's a 0.2 difference between these two drivers. How bad does a 58 want to do it? He's got to get closer than that. 13 going to try to get a good drive off the corner. And now, down the back straightaway, the 58 is there. What's he going to do? Drives down to the corner. Oh, my goodness, and takes out the 13. Just cleans him out. 13 able to save it. We stay green and gives him the bump. And Jonathan Cofield is going to take the win. Punch his ticket into the playoffs with a dive into 3 and 4. Garrett Kinder comes home in second place. Oh, boy. And a little extracurricular activities after the race. Let's go back and watch that as they take the white flag. Cofield there, knowing he had to be a little bit closer, does get a good run through 1 and 2, is right there in striking range. And you see as they go down the back straightaway, the 58 is there and goes down in the corner and just, let's go to a different angle so we can see exactly what happened. Hard angle to see. Yeah, the 58 drives it down in there, gets to the left rear. 13 with an amazing job saving that car. I don't think anybody else would have been able to save it as he is cocked sideways. Look at that. .13 gets sideways, and Jonathan Cofield takes the win. And you see those tires were cooked driving basketballs across the start-finish line, but comes home in second regardless on the last lap with that last lap pass. Wow. Wow. Did not expect that at all. That was a crazy finish. And let's go ahead and get these drivers. And let's talk to them. Start with Michael Kosick, who does come home in third place. Michael, this Eddie in the booth. You got me?
Yeah, I got you.
Well, man, that was a interesting race for you. Started just inside the top 10, worked your way through the field. Seemed like it was really difficult to pass, and went green flag all the way. But still able to come home with a third place finish. You were kind of behind Kent most of the race. Came in a couple laps ahead of him and able to undercut him there and hold him off as y'all were battling through that lap traffic. We watched that for a while. That was crazy. Y'all did a great job. What was it like for you out there?
Yeah, I mean, it seemed tough to pass early in the run and then late in the run. So I kind of stalled out behind him there. So I just decided to try to undercut him, get in front of him. I knew it was going to be tough to pass, but had a blast battling with him there. I don't know if he feels the same, but was definitely a lot of fun.
Yeah, uh, interesting decision, knowing that you were right there on the cutoff line. This would be in the cutoff race. You're sitting there in 8th place. Saw a couple times, got in the danger zone, man. Kenny Loggins was singing. I could hear it as you got a little bit sideways there. Almost lost it, and almost saw your playoff hopes kind of, hit the deck there. What were you nervous, or you didn't care? Just out there, just want to race your guts out? Or just how bad were you wanting to get that 3rd place finish? And because y'all were racing hard, man.
Uh, yeah, I mean, I wanted to finish as good as I can, but I was just having fun. Whatever happens, happens. It's just all out here for fun, anyways. Um, yeah, I don't know if I cut down across him or not. Griff was coming quick on the high side. I didn't see him coming. Took it 3 wide and just kind of reacted there.
Yeah. Yeah, so close call, man. But hey, y'all are awesome drivers. Y'all are some of the best. So y'all can make it work. Man, we've seen some awesome driving tonight. That's for dang sure. But man, great battle between you two. I think if I don't think he can't be mad about it. It looked like y'all were just having a blast. So it looked like fun to me. And you were able to hang on to it. And hey, you're going to move on to the next round 8. You make it in. I'm pretty sure unofficially, I guess, but I would assume my math pretty good. You were sitting 8th. Even if somebody had a win, it made it to the top 7. I think you moved up pretty easily. So moving on to the round 8, got to be feeling pretty good as we move forward into the playoffs.
Yeah, just gotta try to stay out of trouble. Had a bad couple last week, so just try to keep it clean and finish good.
All right. Well, congratulations as always, man. Who you got to thank? Sponsor shout outs.
Hey, thank you for doing the broadcast. Brandon Wallace for his awesome admin duties, and just teammates at Bandits.
Ha, you said duties. All right, Michael. We'll see you next week. Looking forward to some more racing like that. Good race tonight. Congratulations.
All right, man. Thanks.
Well, all right. Well, I don't know how this is going to go. Uh, you know, I don't know. I'm a little nervous. Should I ask him about it? I'm gonna ask them about it. I got to. Being like the media, I gotta ask them. I gotta get their opinion on it. They may not need me to ask them. They'll talk about it anyway. But let's go ahead and get 2nd place finisher Garrett Kinder up in here and see what his thoughts are on the race. Garrett, the city in the booth. You got me?
Yeah, I got you.
Well, man, a pretty good race. Man, started 2nd, was able to get the lead, and just kind of dominated the race. I mean, was able to come down pit road at the right time, able to run down Jason Warren after he pits about 10 laps earlier, get around him without much fuss, and seemed to be kind of checking out. Cofield, though, running you down there just ever so slightly over the last 15 to 20 laps. And what happened on that last lap there?
Man, I ran the line, the same defensive line I ran the entire first run when I was running defense against him, and I guess he drove over his head and dumped me. So he wants to sit there and run his mouth during the week about being so good at Iowa, which is the only reason I qualified tonight, so I could try and beat him, and then that's how he does it. So it's going to be remembered. Cofield's a good guy. He and I have raced numerous times side by side, lap after lap, and that's just pretty uncalled for.
Well, talk about through the race, that middle section, man, where you were just really doing a defensive line. But I don't know if you know if it's that defensive. It's just working the top side of 3 and 4, and just be able to get the run off of 4 down the front straightaway. It just seemed like it was just impossible to pass. I mean, what was the strategy there? How were you trying to keep him behind you there in the middle part of the race, or was it just hey, I'm just gonna fight for this position and make him pass me?
Yeah, once you get about 15, 20 laps on your tires, it's almost impossible to pass on the low side, and I know that, and I guess he knows that now. Unless you dump somebody, you can't really pass on the bottom side on old tires. But yeah, that was me just holding on to lead and fighting for it.
Yeah,
The
well,
whole time.
y'all did a badass job getting on pit road. Watched you as you come down pit road as you were sliding them jokers trying to get down into pit road speed, and did a great job. Doing all that. So pretty good race, man. I know you're disappointed. 2nd place, not what you want to do. You come here for wins, but still a good race from you. Did a great job there. A masterful job of saving the car there when you did get bumped. That Joker was cocked 90 degrees to the side and still able to save it and bring it home in 2nd. So As always, man, who you got to thank? Any sponsor shout-outs?
Yeah, I want to thank Ratchet Speed Shop on the hood of the ride tonight. It would been nice to get them in victory lane, but we'll come back, get them again some other time. Kinder Farm and Ranch, Big Frig and Cross 5 cattle coolers. Ray Page over at Wolfpack Racing. I raced around him a little bit tonight. It was good getting to see him out on track. All my teammates over at Reaper, Velocity, Shotgun, SPM. Thank you up in the booth. Thank Brandon for making this series tick the way it does, and Griff run the league.
All right, man. There you have it. Second place finisher. You can definitely tell a little aggravation there as contact on the last lap. Well, let's get the other side of the story here. Jonathan Cofield, this Eddie in the booth. You got me?
Yes, sir, I got you.
Well, man, run up in the top 3 all race long. Y'all had a nice little battle there. Racing with Kinder early in the race, man, just so difficult here at Iowa in these cars to make a pass on the bottom. And y'all had a fantastic battle lap after lap after lap. I couldn't turn the dang camera away. Y'all were you were trying your guts out to get around him and just couldn't do it. And there at the end, had a shot and took it, and you came home the winner. So congratulations, man. Talk about your race, man. Let me know how it went for you, and then talk a little bit about that last lap.
Yeah, it's a pretty good race overall. Car's pretty hard to get the power to the ground. I know Kinder likes this kind of racetrack, kind of riding off the right rear, real loose off the corner. Run with him that whole first, right there before the pit stop, run with him, tried to pass him a few times. Never could do it. Never could really get a run on the high side to make anything work either. So I think he pitted a lap or two before I did. Got a little behind. Had to pass some cars. Lap traffic was pretty hard to get through. A couple guys trying to stay on the lead lap in case the caution come out, but was able to run him down. And I mean, we play off racing, you know. Really didn't mean to cause no hard feelings or anything. Really didn't want to touch him that hard. He checked up in the corner a little sooner than I thought he was going to, I guess, to get a good run off to the checkered. But was just going to really give him a bump in the center of the corner. Kind of loosened him up more than he already was. But, yeah, it was a good win. Off to the next round.
Well, all right. Well, with you being sort of the leader, I feel like your points situation, you had to feel pretty good coming into this race. And of course, the win going to make sure that you move on to the next round. You know, with him being out of the playoffs, you've been in the playoffs. Did that play into the thoughts of it at all, or you know, we show up to race and go for the wins?
It might have played into it a little bit. He's kind of just running for fun. Usually starts in the rear, but decided qualifying. I had a hell of a time running with him up front. Just a little frustrated. I never could get around him, but like I said, the bump was a little more of a bump than I wanted to give. Just trying to lock myself in.
Well, yeah, 10-4. Well, you did it, and this being the cutoff race, you are headed to the round of 8. You got to be feeling pretty good, man. It's been a great season for you. You know, 3 probably really, really good races for you, and then hopefully make it in the Final 4 for Phoenix. I mean, how you feeling, man? I mean, you've been racing really, really good here lately. Get the win tonight. You got to feel like the momentum is on Bandit's side. What do you think?
I don't know. Me and Costa have been talking. Our playoff, even though I'm kind of pointed at the top, we've had some pretty bad finishes the last couple of races. We was talking about how our playoffs haven't really started the way we wanted to. You know, run first and second, dominate the first part of the season, then the playoffs. We've either been beat by pit strategy pretty bad or crashed or something like that.
Well, as we move on to the next, you got Bristol, you got Homestead, you got Rockingham, then we ended at Charlotte in the Final 4. So good win tonight, Jonathan. As always, man, who you got to thank? Any sponsors, shout-outs, who helps you get around the track?
Oh, yeah, I want to help you for broadcasting Rebels Racing Network. Can't wait to go back and watch it. Hope everybody watching enjoyed the good racing. I want to thank Warren School of Racing Etiquette, Cofield Asphalt Refinishing, Peg Leg Phelps, Lockridge Brake Pedals, Thunderstruck, Kinder Farm and Ranch, Brandon Wallace, everybody that keeps the ball rolling in this league.
There you have it. Jonathan Cofield, your winner tonight at Iowa. Congratulations, Jonathan. All right. Well, there you have it. Let's go through the results page real quick. Let's see where everybody ended up. That's practice. We'll get the race one up there. I don't know why I did that every time. You know your top 3. We just talked to him. Kent Huntley with a great finish right behind Michael Kossick. Had a great battle most of the race. You had Garrett and Jonathan fighting each other all race, and you had Mike and Kent. That was a pretty good little couple duos there. And Al Renecki comes home in 5th place. He's definitely the hard charger. Michael Nash comes home in 6th. Jason Warren, after pitting pretty early, he finishes in 7th, but he is locked into the next round, so he will definitely be racing no matter what. Brandon Pollock finishes in 8th place. Tyler Rice, 9th. Finishing 10th is Josh Oswald. Chris Reese finishes 11th. 12th, Charles Stevens Jr. 13th, Ray Page. 14th, Matt Clement. 15th, Jason Lotcher. 16th, Stephen McDonald. 17th, Brandon Wallace. 18th, Thomas Sly. Aaron Adcock, after that penalty, comes home in 19th. 20th, William Griffith. 21st, Kai Shepard. 22nd, Greg Froenick. And 23rd is Chuck Feltz. Another great race, man. Looking forward to the next 3 races. It's going to be a lot of fun. Bristol, Homestead, Rockingham, as we have the round of 8. No official standings yet. They'll be posted. We can kind of look at them and see here as the race is over. We'll see if it's been updated, and it has. So, Brandon, on it tonight. We'll go ahead and give you the. Oh, there it is. There are your round of 8 drivers. Jonathan Cofield, Jason Warren locked in with those 2 wins. Michael Kostick, Alan Renecki, Jason Lotchers, Josh Oswald, Brandon Pollock, and Tyler Rice with the final spot in the round of 8. Those drivers will fight it out to go to Charlotte and race for a championship. Man, that is a tough group of drivers. You see how many wins are in the win column there, as the top 5 all have a win. Josh Oswald, Brandon Pollock, Tyler Rice. No wins this season, but enough finishes, man, that they've been doing a great job and gotten themselves in. Now they're looking ahead to these next 3 races, and they can go out there and get a win and see themselves in the Final 4 and get this championship. So, man, I'm excited. I'm excited to see how this all plays out. This is obviously some of the best racing all year long. Starts in the playoffs, and tonight got all kinds of excitement. Tough to pass, all kinds of drama. Come on back, man. We got 4 more races of it as we hit their schedule right there. You got Bristol, Homestead, Rockingham, and Charlotte. So, but anyway, a lot of fun here at Iowa. Tough racing, tough to pass, but still pretty exciting. And we will see y'all next week. As it's even going to be even worse at Bristol. I cannot wait to see how that's going to play out. But anyway, we want to thank all our sponsors. Want to thank we got to give out the Cofield Hard Luck Award. Got to give the Cofield Hard Luck Award to Aaron Adcock, who had gotten his way up through the field. And I know he probably doesn't appreciate me giving him this award. But with that speed and penalty, he is going to be the Cofield Asphalt Refinishing Hard Luck Award winner with that speed and penalty. And no caution, just could not get back up to the front. So anyway, a lot of fun. I want to thank everybody that puts in a lot of work. Brandon Wallace for putting this series on, doing his best to keep it as clean as possible. And we will see you next week at Bristol. Y'all have a good night.